Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream. I hope that you are all doing well. Welcome to Isolation Day. I don't know. I guess it varies wherever you guys are located. What day of isolation is it for you all? Welcome to the live stream. I hope that you guys are doing well. Tonight we are going to talk about a couple of interesting things that I've wanted to talk about. I held back from making videos. And also some updates of previous topics I've discussed during these live streams. So we are going to be talking about Gamestop. It's a follow-up. Past couple of weeks I've talked about Gamestop. There's been a lot of news with them bringing on people to their board of directors, them firing employees, staying open, calling themselves essential retail, and now we are finding out that GameStop will be closing over 300 of their stores this year, not for the coronavirus, but permanent closes, which is a pretty big number. They previously had closed a couple of hundred like last year, and this year they're estimating over 300 stores. I'm going to talk about and roast Gotham High. This has been a topic a lot of you wanted me to discuss. I did talk about kind of Marvel and the New Warriors. I haven't touched on Gotham High yet, just because I honestly am so fed up with the way that these companies are acting. Yes, I understand that they think that it's great and it's gonna make them money. In my opinion, all they are doing is killing their loved characters, changing them into these fucking jokes. First F-bomb, like 2 minutes into stream. And they're just making a joke of all of the characters that we have loved for so many years. But I'm finally going to talk about it. I'm finally going to roast Gotham High and give you all my opinions on that. We're also going to talk about Death End Request 2. This is a game that I have previously talked about. Now, they have had quite a few problems with their audience and censorship. They have basically now, so they went from having costumes to censoring and toning down the costumes to now they have a poll up on their Twitter asking fans if they want the censored or uncensored costumes. So obviously they saw backlash to the censorship, now they're trying to save their asses. But literally, why are you asking fans if they want censorship or not? You should do what you want, what you feel comfortable with, and what you think is going to make you money and what your audience wants. And we're also going to talk about David Harbour, how he is blaming fans for Hellboy flopping at the box office. It's not because it's a bad movie. It's not because it had poor acting, a poor script, poor directing. No. It's because the fans were... The fans killed it. Because the fans expected too much. Toxic fans. And that's why it failed. So welcome to the live stream that is for everyone that is just stopping by. Those are the topics we will discuss tonight. But before we get into that, I will chat with you all. If I had still worked in my old job, I would still be there because it's essential. I feel bad for those of you that are essential workers. Obviously, you know, if you're an essential worker, you're a very important person to society and just general things being done. I do appreciate you, but it does suck you don't get any time off. You're probably working extra hours. It sucks, but I see the pros and the cons. Thank you for your service. I'm here. I'll probably be lurking, though. Well, welcome. I hope that your night goes well. Before we get into everything, I did just want to say, recently, 2 days ago, I did make a new Patreon. Now, I know everyone has their different opinions on Patreon. I did previously have a Patreon, but due to some reasons, I did make a new one. So if you guys want to support the channel, please go and consider looking at the new Patreon account. I have not really posted any rewards for it just because I am going to be reworking the rewards, but the tiers will stay the same. So if you enjoy the content I create, please go to the link and consider supporting for just $1 a month. I would very much so appreciate it. But I'm just tired of the constant theme of replacing straight white males in comics, movies, etc., and no one calls it racist or misandrist. I agree. We're also surprisingly starting to see white female characters kind of being replaced, which is interesting to me because I didn't expect it to get to that. And obviously we haven't seen too many too many different white female characters being changed, but we have seen quite a few. And if you look at the white female characters that exist, there's always something with them. They might be feminists, they might be pregnant or mothers, they might be, you know, gay, there's always something with the white female characters now, which is interesting. I didn't think that it was going to get to that, but it slowly but surely actually is. Something to keep your eye on. Let me check. Is it just me, or is the lighting different than usual? It might be different than in videos because I have chat up. So when I have chat up on my secondary monitor, the white from that kind of casts onto me. So unfortunately, there's not really anything to do because I do already have that monitor, like the color turned down and everything, and I have it dimmed. But unfortunately, it's a pop. I'm like a sparkling star when I'm live streaming because of the light, unfortunately. Not much I can do about it though, at least right now. Maybe if I got a newer monitor, it would have more settings. Unfortunately, the monitor I have for my secondary monitor is older, so there's not as many settings with it. Maybe if I got a newer monitor, I would be able to play with the settings a little bit more. Still no redheads though. I vote for redheads. I'm personally more of a brunette person, but I can appreciate redheads. Didn't Gotham High make Selena Kyle Hispanic? Oh boy. There's a lot. Basically, Alfred is gay. Wayne Enterprises was started because of Martha, because Martha was rich. They're Chinese Americans. I think there was something else too. I believe Selena Kyle is Hispanic as well, yes. There's a lot. And I have some strong opinions on it. Obviously, you guys have seen my pretty strong opinions when it comes to New Warriors. I think that superheroes have kind of become this joke, and I don't like that. And I definitely do not like most of the things that they've done with Gotham High. Brunettes, blondes, redheads, they're all fun. I mean, I prefer brunettes. I'm not really a blonde person, but I can appreciate them. Whenever I see Gotham High, I accidentally see it as Galaxy High. I mean, I like it. Galaxy High sounds way cooler than Gotham High. I don't know. The whole idea, before we get into the first topic, the whole idea of them, you know, taking franchises and making them, like, teen-friendly. Like how Star Trek, they want to make a show based around, like, teenagers and, like, stay-at-home moms that want to watch, like, sitcoms. And I am so sick of everything being, like, toned down and made, like, teenager-friendly. I'm so sick of that. Honestly. Yeah, Joker is, like a sex symbol now. Like, he's the hot bully. Cringe. I very, very rarely use the word cringe, but cringe. I wish that I had a better word than cringe, because cringe is kind of, like, taken out of, I don't want to say out of context now, but it's kind of a joke. It's kind of just like a buzzword now, like incel or cuck. All of these things that I would be demonetized for, but I'm not monetized in the first place, so go and support my Patreon for $1 a month. Self-shilling, love that. Alright, Gotham High is a graphic novel you'd see on a fanfic website. I'm cool with fanfic content, but you have to have good talent to write good fanfics. Oh no. I'm thinking about, like, all of these oh god, I don't even want to think about it. Yeah, they're overused bullshit words now. Thoughts on Disney's Descendants? Cringe. Alright, you guys, the first topic that I'm going to discuss for the night is GameStop. I've talked about GameStop a couple of times over the past few weeks. First, we had GameStop. Well, last year, at the beginning of the year, we had GameStop close hundreds of stores. And now, over the past couple of weeks, we saw GameStop hire ex-Nintendo president Reggie to be on the board of directors. And we saw, kind of with the coronavirus, GameStop actually calling themselves essential retail, and they were staying open because they deemed themselves essential retail because they said they sold keyboards and mice. Take that as you will. And now we have news of GameStop closing over 300 300 stores. Now, we all know that GameStop has been in a pretty bad state of decline over the past couple of years. I would say the past maybe 4 years, they've truly gone downhill. I mean, with the way that they've run their stores and, put so much pop culture stuff into their stores. We also have them, the way that they treat employees, the stories we've heard. We also have the way that they treat customers, ripping them off. You bring in $500 worth of games and they'll give you 50 cents and, maybe $20 in store credit. We've heard the horror stories. And it's no surprise that people don't shop at GameStop anymore and people do not respect GameStop anymore. So now, GameStop is closing over 300 stores this year. So GameStop is planning to close over 320 stores by the end of the year. As Gamestop reports, CFO Jim Bell discussed the company's plans in a recent earnings call. We anticipate store closures to be equal to or more than 320 net closures we saw in fiscal 2019 on a global basis. He said, importantly, we want to emphasize that these store closures are a very specific and proactive part of our densification plan. Oh geez, what kind of term is that? And they are not related to recent business trends. Why would you de-intensify your position in a market unless it was related to recent business trends, meaning they weren't selling enough or people weren't coming into their store? Why would you close over 300 stores? Because you could? Why? By recent business trends, Bell is presumably referring to the sales dip caused by the coronavirus pandemic, which has forced countless retailers to close due to health risks and a lack of customers. GameStop has been heavily affected by this as well, and after early efforts to remain open under the guise of essential retail, as reported by Kotaku, it is temporarily closing stores following employee outcry. Now, I actually want to say something about this. So, I am in the Boston area. I am in the Massachusetts area. And because we are on like stay-in-home order, only essential retail, GameStop for a few days was closed. Few days being the caveat here. GameStop had gone with the essential retail stuff and they had closed their stores for about 2 weeks. But now, GameStop has actually reopened all of their stores in my area and they are doing at-door delivery. So basically, you order what you want online. When you get to the store, you call them. Listen to this. You call them. You go to the door, stand 6 feet back, mind you. They unlock the door, they open it, they put your package outside of the door and close the door, and then you may go and receive the parcel. They're doing this delivery at door thing, which, again, is kind of beating around the law, because I've seen a lot of game stores do this as well, like a lot of comic stores. They are doing this curbside pickup delivery at door thing, which is kind of iffy just because you're still in contact with people. If you have coronavirus and it's on your hands, you're touching the box, you're grabbing the box. I mean, obviously most people are taking precautions like washing their hands and desanitizing and all of this stuff. But technically, it isn't what is supposed to be happening. The only stores that I have really seen that are supposed to be allowed to do curbside pickup and drop off and delivery are, food, like restaurants and whatnot, because food is essential. People need food and whatnot. So I think that this is kind of iffy territory for GameStop to kind of transition into. I do believe that. So, I'm just going to say that I don't want to say we should, boycott the companies that are doing this curbside pickup because they're trying to stay open. But we're talking about GameStop, a company that has gotten in so much trouble already for staying open and calling themselves essential retail. I believe that if GameStop is going to be open, somewhere like Best Buy should be open because they sell much more necessary equipment for everyday lives. That's just me, though. What do I know? GameStop has been struggling for years, and in its latest fiscal report shows its total sales have decreased by nearly 20% in the last fiscal year. That's obviously a good reason as to why they want to stay open. if GameStop closed for 4 to 5 months, all of their locations, there is the possibility that that would be the end of GameStop. I believe with seeing the sales decline, that this would be the end of GameStop. The only hope that they would have would be new consoles coming out and hopefully making a little bit of money on those and new games. And again, the company closed 320 stores last year as well. So over the past 2 years alone, they have closed 640 locations, or they're planning to go up to 640 locations. That is a lot for 2 years. These ongoing closures are part of the company's plan to densify its locations, driving more business to individual stores and maximizing productivity of the entire fleet, he said. Of course, it says most gamers are hungry for the PS5 and Xbox Series X, but GameStop may be the most invested for everyone, if only because the launch of the new generation of hardware could give its sales a much-needed shot in the arm. I do think that GameStop will survive. And I say this not because I think they should survive or because I support them as a company. I think they're going to survive because they're doing like this curbside pickup in states, even where they're supposed to be closed, at least for now, as long as this lasts a while. I think that they can make it until the end of the year. I think that once they make it to the end of the year and they have made it to new console time and new games coming out, I think that they can make it. I think that new consoles coming out is going to be a huge boost for them, and I think that it could save them. I don't want to say it's going to necessarily completely save them, but I do think that, yes, if they can make it to the end of the year, I do think the company has a shot. I feel very, very mixed with GameStop because on one hand, I really don't like the company because of the way that they act. They treat their customers like shit. They treat their employees like shit. They do not offer... They have a lot of problems. I don't want to say they don't offer enough product, but they don't offer enough games. And I hate to say that, but it's because they've shoved so much pop culture stuff into their stores. It feels like the selection is decreased. I, on the other hand, though, do want GameStop to survive because they are one of the main game retailers. I mean, besides GameStop, there are no big chains of stores that are the equivalents to GameStop. You have local game stores that maybe have older used games. You have places like Walmart, Target, and Best Buy that sell new games, but there's not that in between, and I do feel like GameStop does fill a portion of the market that is important. I guess in the end, we will see how GameStop reacts. We will see if they end up closing all of these 300 stores. We'll see if they survive. I do think at some point within the next 5 years, yes, GameStop is going to go out of business. GameStop is done. But I do not think that that time is now, in my opinion. I guess we'll have to see, though. So that's all that I really have to talk about with GameStop. I'm curious, for those of you in chat, is your GameStop still open? Did they close? Are you guys under mandatory, lockdown? I'm curious to know if GameStop in other places is still open. Because here we're, essential retail only, and they're doing curbside pickup. They are not giving up. Which is a little bit surprising to me. I figured that they would have given up already. After they had all the problems with staying open and people really, attacking them and saying it's shit that you're making your employees work. So obviously there are still employees working, but you have to consider, are those employees more worried about keeping their job and being able to make money, or being safe and not being sick? It's hard, because on one hand, you want to say, yes, they should be closed, keep employees safe, but on the other hand, some employees might want to stay at work, and they might say, I would rather be making money and be staying open. So it's hard. It's not really my place to say if employees should be angry or not. It's just my opinion. So, the next, before we get into the next topic, in the UK, those kinds of shops are closed. Yeah, the GameStop near me is closed. We have 3 GameStop stores in my area, and they're all closed. In my area, they're all, curbside pickup and buy at door and all this stuff, which is interesting. I just want Resident Evil 3 on Friday. I'll self-shill. On Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be here live streaming the Resident Evil 3 remake. If you have not seen my other live streams, I have previously streamed the Resident Evil 2 remake. I did live stream Leon and Claire's playthroughs. I don't think I'm going to stream them one more time before the Resident Evil 3 comes out. That would be like an 8-hour stream, and I don't think I'm doing that. I don't think there's enough interest in that. But Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be here playing Resident Evil 3 live on the channel. So many beauty ads for a gaming stream. So I get a lot of like woman focused ads. Obviously, it's like I ranted to someone about this the other day. I think it was Asphera and Grimm in Cinder. I am so pissed off at the ads that I get. I literally get like ads that are for feminists, like, oh, we're women. We can do what we want. We can wear what we want. It's like underwear and shoe ads. It's cringe. It's cringe. I'm so sick of seeing these ads. Why can't I get ads that are, like computers and technology? No, we don't do that. We don't do that. I get panty ads, which is well, I guess I get to see pretty women on my screen all the time. But if we could maybe chill, that'd be great. Also, hello, Grizz. Google's always watching you, Vera. Well, come on, guys. If I ever went to China, I would never come back alive. We all know that. It's unfortunate. Yeah, we all get weird ads. I'm surprised I don't get more, like, Funimation and Crunchyroll ads, because I look up, like, anime topics so much, and I can't get the fucking good ads. I get bad ads. Anyway, that's my rant on ads. Death End Request 2 survey asks fans if they want uncensored costumes on Steam. So I think that this situation is so odd. We see companies so often talking about how, like, oh, they've toned down characters because they want to appeal to specific groups of people, and that's their choice. It's their choice to do that. I guess it's okay if that's really what they want to do. But when they censor something, or they have the censored version of something, and they either go back on it, or after they see the backlash of censorship, they change their mind, that is when I get a little foggy with companies, because I just want a company to be transparent. If a company comes out and says, you know what, we toned down our characters because we wanted to, or we made our characters look a specific way because we wanted to, I feel a certain level of respect for those companies, because it's their choice. But I think that it's interesting when companies come out and ask fans if they want censored or uncensored costumes. And in this situation, it was a little bit unique, so I'll read it, and then I'll tell you why it's a little bit unique. So, Idea Factory International have announced that they will make a survey as to whether players want censored or uncensored costumes in Death End Request 2 on Steam. Fans noted that the glitch costumes for the characters in the game, already out in Japan and on PS4, were shared with those in the original. However, the costumes have been modified. The glitch mode grants the characters increased stats and new abilities, and it also turns their clothes into a revealing digital form with patterns in straps following their design motif, bee, centipede, praying mantis, etc. This is obtained by collecting bugs within the digital world, causing corruption to the character. This is also shown by the character acting more vicious and sadistic. These costumes have been modified in the sequel to cover more skin. You can find examples of the comparisons between the two games via ID Factory International here. Viewer discretion is advised. I'm not going to show them on screen. They're pretty NSFW, but if you want the link, I will put it in chat. But it says that many suspect this is due to how Sony's ongoing policy to censor sexual content from anime-styled games on the PlayStation 4. In 2019, Sony Interactive Entertainment Japan Asia president, oh my god, Atsushi Morita, stated the then jeez Louise, I can't read. Recent spate of censorship of anime-styled sexual content on PS4 games had been to meet global standards. Now, Idea Factory International have stated they wish to take a survey asking players' opinions on which versions of the costumes they should use in the Steam version of the game. There are a lot of problems here. NSFW, nobody goes to work anymore. I guess that's true. If nobody's going to freaking work, I guess I can show the NSFW shit, huh? Like, I mean, if there's no work, then what is it? Not safe for snowflakes? NFSS? Not safe. NSFS. Jeez. NSFS. Say that 20 times fast. So they said, we've seen the community's feedback on the new glitch costumes for the first game's characters in Death and Request 2 on PS4. We want you all to know that we are listening and that we have been given the opportunity to implement the original costumes into the Steam version of the game. However, we can only include the original designs or the new designs. The development cost and time to include both costume versions would not be feasible. Visual confusion intensifies. So they're saying that they would like to hold a survey to see which glitch costumes the community would like to see in the Steam versions. So, wait. This game, with both versions. So they already have both versions made. But they can't... Okay, there's a lot of problems here. First of all, I think that I'm just gonna say it, I don't think that they've asked Steam I don't think they've gotten this game accepted in Steam for these costumes. So we all know that Sony has been very censorship heavy. So the fuck has Steam. Steam has been very censorship heavy on adult and anime content. I do not think that this content would be allowed on Steam, first of all. So that would be my first base question is, have you gotten these costumes approved by Steam? Because their game might be approved now, but if they added in these new costumes and they spent the money and the time developing it for PC, would Steam really accept it? Because I don't think that Steam would. Second of all, they're saying that it would be too much, the development cost in the time to include both costume versions would not be feasible. The designs aren't really that different, besides like 2% of the clothing gone. So I don't think that it would really cost that much to have it brought into the new game. Okay, I'm just gonna say, I'm not a game developer. I really don't know. I know generally how much time and money it takes to do some stuff, but, well, time, not really money. Money is a whole different ballgame. But would it really be that much harder? Because I just really don't think, from what I've seen, that it would be. It's not like the costumes are, completely different. They're very similar costumes besides some skin showing. Questionable to me. Very questionable. I'm just gonna be honest, though. Why are you asking fans if that's what they want? Because it should be the developer's choice to kind of make that. It's their decision. I do like that they're asking fans, like, is this really what you want? But I think that they should just go with their gut and do what they want. They're gonna have backlash either way. Let's be honest, we all know it. Whether they have sexy anime waifus that are censored or not censored, there's gonna be backlash. You're gonna have snowflakes on one side saying, why the fuck would you include this pornography of waifu children? It's disgusting what you're doing. This should be censored. And then you're gonna have, on the other hand, people saying, well, why would you censor that? It's literally not that much different. We're adults. We can handle the content we want. Either way, they're going to face backlash. So, TARDIS, I feel the same way. I think that they should allow fans to choose the style that they want in game. I believe that they should implement both versions of the costumes, but they said that it would cost them too much money for development and cost too much time to include both costume versions. I mean, maybe they don't expect this game to make much money on Steam. But I mean, I think the ultimate thing here would be for them to put in both versions. And another thing is the fact that when it came out on the PlayStation 4, they had censored the costumes because they wanted to meet global standards. Well, we can see now that the global standard stuff is bullshit because they're saying we want to release it uncensored on one platform, but on the other, on Sony's platform, we did it to meet global standards. So we know it confirms what I've been saying for a while, and that's the fact that Sony is forcing developers to censor, all their content. It says the survey can be found here. Let me hold on. Let me bring up this survey. Oh, my email address. That's all it needs. I haven't signed the survey yet. But I will post the survey in chat. I just posted it. If you want to sign or put your opinion into the survey, then I definitely would say hell yeah, go for it. I think that the situation's a little fishy, though, because I think that when it came out on the PlayStation, people were very upset and people were very bothered by the fact that they didn't include these uncensored outfits. So I think that backlash made them change their mind. I think that they had decided to ask fans to kind of save their image with people. It's a little bit fishy to me. It makes me a little bit suspicious. But I guess we'll have to see in the end what they decide to do. Obviously, it says that it ends April 2nd, so hopefully by next week's discussion stream, I will have an update for you guys if it will be the censored or uncensored outfits, but that's all that I really had to discuss with this topic. Hopefully, it is the uncensored outfits, and hopefully Steam allows the uncensored outfits on their platform, but I guess we will not know for a little bit. For a little while longer. Hopefully, though, it goes well. Next, we are going to talk about Gotham High. They give us a choice, so they are saying, like, you can choose, like, if you'd rather, but like one or the other. But I personally think that they should add in both outfits into their game. I think that would be the best way to go. Allow people a censored version if they want it, and allow people an uncensored version if they want it. Maybe the survey is just to harvest email addresses for later marketing purposes. True. That could be true. It'll be good entertainment if just judging by FOW's other work. Think of Steam as GameStop for PC minus all the merch. I mean, it's true. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Dubbed censorship. Why even bother? Yeah. Isn't Subverse already going to be out on Steam? Is Subverse coming out on Steam? Subverse. I have to type in game. Have we even heard anything about Subverse lately? I haven't followed along with it too much. I'm checking really quickly. Oh, nipples. That's interesting. Can I maybe get somewhere else? Not there, though? Oh my god, they have so much stuff. We don't want that. We want updates. Okay, so they've been updating. Let's see the roadmap. Yeah, I don't really see a launch date or anything. Yeah, they really don't have a launch date. So, I guess we'll see what happens, but I mean, it's pretty NSFW, my friends. If that comes out if it actually comes out and everything's good with it, I'll probably show it off to you guys. I'll do it. Tim Pool's born. Well, I don't think this. Last time I heard the situation with Subverse isn't. It's a situation. What a glorious history. Every time I hear Subverse, I think of Tim Pool. I do too. I think of Tim Pool as well. Man, Subverse. That whole Subverse thing is crazy, dudes. The situation. Hella donations for Subverse streams. Well, we don't know when Subverse is launching, so I'm not taking any donations for Subverse right now. How can you stream Subverse? I'll do it. Shh. Patreon only stream. Patreon only stream. Possibly. I would like to do more Patreon only content. Now that I've made a new Patreon account, I am reworking the rewards. I would like to start doing more content. I was thinking, before we get into the next topic, which is Gotham High, I want to ask you guys, would you be interested in seeing, like, maybe, like, a once-a-week video where it's me chatting about, like, maybe, like, films and books and comics that I've read and watched, or, like, you know, pop culture stuff that I'm interested in, maybe topics I don't get to talk about in videos or on live stream. I was thinking maybe once a week for now, and I would like to start doing the once a month live streams again as well, as soon as most of the Dark Titans are moved over. I would like to get to 30 supporters, and then I'll probably start doing the supporter-only live streams again. But I would maybe like to do maybe like a once-a-week video for supporters. It's like me talking about, like, a book I've read recently, or, like, maybe mini reviews on, like, big pop culture series. Maybe, like, you know, it might be Lord of the Rings, or The Hobbit, or, like, Hellboy. It's things that I don't put on my main channel, but maybe things that you guys would be interested in. Don't burn yourself out. Well, it would only be, like, one video a week, and they wouldn't have to be long videos. I want to start doing more Patreon-only content. Supporter-only content, because there are some of you guys that are supporters that are not on Patreon. And I will also be opening a subscribe star eventually here. I'm not sure when yet, but that is on my list to do. But if you guys do enjoy, check the description for the Patreon links. And if you guys are interested in donating, you can donate $3 or more. $20 or more, we do have a new notification. It's not brand new, but it's toss a coin to your Witcher. Subscribe Star? Yeah, Subscribe Star is like, it's a similar site to Patreon, but it is different. People have their own opinions on Patreon and Subscribe Star, so I want to provide alternatives. Just, you know, each site comes with their own pros and cons. Alright, you guys. Tonight, we are talking about Gotham High and the pure bullshit that it is. I've talked about, you know, Marvel New Warriors and my opinions on that. I have some pretty strong opinions on Marvel's New Warriors because I think that it is, I'm gonna say it, cringe. I don't want to see teenagers running around in thigh-high boots and with backpacks. Just my opinion. I don't want to see overweight Dora the Explorer with a backpack. No powers herself. I don't want to see non-binary Snowflake and Safe Space, which are literally just characters to trigger people that are what they call anti-SJWs. I don't want to see content like that. Superheroes have gotten so damn lame. I have always been a bigger fan of DC. I'll be honest. I always liked DC more because I liked the Justice League and Wonder Woman and Batman and all these fucking characters that they've murdered now. Absolutely stabbed in the gut. But DC has done it. Maybe DC and Marvel had a meeting together and they sat down and they were like, all right. Our ideas need to be in the similar vein but very different. What do we do? And they both just went, pure fucking cringe, because that's what they've done. DC Comics circles the drain, reveals gay Alfred and Chinese American Bruce Wayne and more franchise killing abominations. Before we get into this, I would love to put this disclaimer out there. I am okay with diversity and inclusivity. I have no problems with people that are, LGBTQ. I have no problems with people being themselves. I have no problems with those things. The problems that I have are situations like these, where they are changing characters just to change them, because they can't come up with new characters. So DC Comics rolled out the red carpet with a big snazzy Entertainment Weekly interview for their latest creative team that effectively butchers Batman canon. Yeah, of course. Melissa De La Cruz and illustrator Thomas, I can't say his last name, I'm sorry, Petili, spoke with the magazine about their upcoming graphic novel, Gotham High, that EW describes as Batman meets Gossip Girl. Oh man. No. No. I don't even want to read this, it's so bad. She states, my husband is a big Batman fan, so when DC called and said we want to do a young adult line, what character do you want to do? Fucking of course, they just had to do Batsy. It's such a fun, iconic character that I could put my own spin on. This is the cover. I like the cat. That's about it. I like the fucking cat. That's the only thing I'll give it. Okay. He did express that his knowledge of the character, admitting he grew up watching Batman, the animated series. I grew up on the Batman, the animated series cartoon back in the 90s, so ever since then, I was hooked. As far as superheroes go growing up, he has always been my number one. So for me to get to work on any incarnation of Batman, it's a dream come true. Radically altering Batman and his mythos. After admitting she had no clue about Batman, De La Cruz then details her lack of knowledge doesn't matter because she's radically altering the fucking character anyways. She explains Bruce Wayne is the billionaire. He's the richest man alive. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun if his family was Chinese and from Hong Kong? That made it feel real. De La Cruz then details she's basically telling an autobiography of her own life using a DC Comics character. There's been a big influx of wealthy Chinese people who moved from Hong Kong to Arcadia and Los Angeles, and that's where my mom lives. I'm part Chinese. My brother lives in Hong Kong. So I thought it would be great to put what I know into Bruce Wayne. I just wanted him to be a little bit more representative of my background. There's the screech. Giving him an authentic family. Why do you have to put your life parallels into an established character that's been around for how many years? How old is Batman? First appearance of Batman. Okay, that's what I thought. 1939. Why do you need to have a character from 1939 that represents your life? I'm not trying to be rude. I don't care about your life. I am here for a story about a character, not to hear your autobiography. I'm not here to know the struggles of your life. If you want to tell people the struggles of your life, go out and write an autobiography. Go and make a Tumblr. Go and make a Pinterest. Go and make a blog spot where you can write your little articles that get 5 views. I don't care about your life, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that. But I don't care about Batman representing your life and your experiences. I don't get to have a character based on my life and my experiences. As for... this is the worst. As for how Bruce Wayne becomes a billionaire, a preview of the graphic novel indicates the money comes from his mother, and his mother alone. Put the pants ads away. I don't want the pants ads. Before Masha Dean became Martha Wayne, she was the most beautiful girl in Hong Kong and from the richest family. Few know that it was her money that started Wayne Enterprises. Oh no, it's gotta be the money from a woman. We can't have male entrepreneurs that maybe grew up in a slightly rich family. We can't have a male character, a white male character especially, having money of his own without the help of a woman. No, has to be her money from her family, because few know it was her money that started Wayne Enterprises. Oh boy! Piss me off. According to sources, everything fell apart that night they went to see Madame Butterfly. What started as a perfect evening soon became a night of terror. When they got home, the thieves were everywhere. She then admits that Alfred will be gay. Okay, you can touch Selena. You can touch Joker. FFS, you can even touch Batsy, but don't touch Alfred. Alfred is an old white dude that flirts with women that are half his age, and that's just the way that Alfred is. If you fuck with Alfred, you fuck with me. She then admits that Alfred will be gay. She states Alfred is not just his butler, but also his uncle. His gay uncle from Hong Kong. It gives it this fabulous, crazy, rich Asian sheen to it. Literally, all stereotypes here. You have rich Asians, you have this gay, rich uncle from Hong Kong. I mean, racism? Who? Like, supremacy? Where? If it wasn't clear this entire book was about pandering, the illustrator now details that breathes new life into the character, especially in today's world, since we're living in the most diverse world we've probably ever lived in. So it's more representative of Batman in 2020. No, that's not true, Peter. Alfred has had a couple of girls, at least in he's had a couple of girls that he's, maybe flirted with a little bit, that he's maybe been a little bit interested in. He's never had, a full, love interest. But Alfred has had a couple of, people that he was interested in. We've seen that a couple times, but not many. I will give you that, not many. He adds, and since he's a teenager, I tried my best to put a little bit of myself into the character as well, channeling those feelings of being an adolescent and feeling like an outsider. I definitely wasn't a billionaire, but oftentimes I felt very separated from everyone else around me. I think a lot of people can understand being an outsider and all these things, but do you have to say, well, I just wanted to make sure the character channeled me. I wanted to make sure, since this is the one opportunity I get, it's something that channels me, so I can look back and say, this is me. I don't like that. I do not like that. When asked on what her inspiration for the story was, De La Cruz admits she wanted to reinvent Chuck Bass, a prominent character from Gossip Girl. I pitched a kind of Gossip Girl Batman, and in my mind I wanted to reinvent Chuck Bass. He's still Bruce Wayne. It's not the Great Gatsby, so he's still brooding, he's still a loner, he still has all of that iconic Batman personality. It really doesn't sound like that, though. It really sounds like you're just making the character to be whoever you want it to be. And then we have it, Joker not a villain. It's not just Batman and Bruce Wayne that are being radically altered, it's Joker as well. The illustrator explains, there's so much of that Instagram culture and social media culture with teens today, so I tried to interject that style in the look of the characters, especially with the Joker character. He adds he was the hardest character to visualize and design because he's not your average villain. He's almost not a villain at all in a way. He goes back and forth where you sympathize with him sometimes and sometimes you see him as a villain. So I wanted to give him a look that played on both sides of his personality. He then admits he modeled the character, of course, on his own look. Are these people so damn original that they have to go, oh, I'm looking at him, like if you guys in the mirror, oh wow, oh, I guess that's a good idea for a book. Seriously, that's what you have to do? You are so unoriginal that you have to look in the camera and look in a mirror and say, wow, I really needed to figure out a character design, so I just decided to go off myself. I had this haircut, and it's the same haircut we ended up giving the Joker. Oh, go figure. It became a great reference throughout the process since I just had to look at myself. In a weird way, the Joker character is the most like me. There's a love story. They have plans to ruin more characters. De La Cruz said I would love to play a little more. We have minor characters that we can get to know a bit more. Oh, they're gonna ruin next Poison Ivy and Harvey. And I don't think it's the last we'll see of Selina, Jack, and Bruce either. Well, it better not be the last we see of Bruce. It's a Batman comic. And we barely even saw Robin, so that's basically what we know at this point about Gotham High. We know that Alfred is gay. We have Chinese American Bruce Wayne. We have Joker that's like this bad boy that's kind of soft sometimes. I don't like it. I'm gonna be honest, it's stupid. It's dumb, it's foolish, it's idiotic, and I don't like it. I am sick of these, of DC and Marvel and these companies okaying books like this. Why aren't they having people write better stuff? Is it really because they can't come up with anything better? Can writers not come up with anything better? You know what, guys? You know what? I was gonna say, I'm gonna start an Indiegogo, and I'm gonna have a $3,000 goal, and I'm gonna write out the general plot line of a Batman or a DC or a Marvel comic, and you know what I'm gonna fucking do? I'm just gonna write out a plot line, and you know what? It's gonna be 20 times. It's going to be 20 times better than this. And I won't even have to use half the brain cells that these people use. I could use a fourth of the brain cells put into things like Gotham High and New Warriors. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the $3,000. I'm going to go and buy Taco Bell with it. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy these comics and burn them. I'm going to buy them and glue stick on pieces of paper with the title of my comic series and glue it onto the front. I'm not even a comic writer, and I bet I could write better than this. I'm sure half of you guys in chat could write better than this. Why wouldn't they just go to something like, I don't know, I don't know. It's dumb, it's stupid, and I really don't like it. Thank you for coming to my Titan talk. I appreciate it. It's bad. It's, whoops, please don't play. Please don't play. I don't want DC to copyright strike me today. No DC, thank you. Why is my own video popping up and, my own stream is popping up and recommended? That's pretty weird. It's pretty weird. They could take the general plot of, like, the B movie and make it Batman. I don't know. They could do anything. They could take The Little Mermaid and make it a Batman story, and it'd be better than this. Sorry. I'm not trying to roast these writers. You know what? I've said this from the beginning. If I ever talk negatively about someone or their work, my channel is open. You are free to come on my live stream and talk to me. I am okay with people having different opinions than me. If Miss De La Cruz here wants to come on my channel and talk to me about why she decided to make an autobiography Batman book, then she's free to. But it's never going to happen. Because they don't like people that have differing opinions than them. I bet I'm already blocked. I bet I'm already blocked by these people. My old school essays were better than the writing of Gotham High. See? It's true. Alright, you guys, I'm going to move into the last topic for the night. Let's see what we can do. Alright. Gotta get this going. Toxic fans. You're all toxic. David Harbour blames Del Toro fans for Hellboy flopping at the box office time and time again. We hear actors saying, you know what, it's toxic fans, and fans that expect too much. These people are the reasons why our movies are failing. Heckboy, I agree. I'm going to call it Heckboy from now on. David Harbour explained why he believed Heckboy flopped at the box office, blaming Del Toro fans. Of course, it can't just be because his acting was bad, the writing was bad, the directing was bad. No, it's gotta be because of someone doing something. As reported by Comic Book Movie, Harbour recently did a live Instagram Q&A with his fans where he detailed his reasonings. Harbour stated, I think it failed before we began shooting because I think that people didn't want us to make the movie for some reason. There was a big, Del Toro and Ron Perlman created this iconic thing and we thought could be reinvented, and the loudness of the internet was like, we do not want you to touch this. I think it's perfectly okay for fans to not want actors and directors to touch these beloved franchises. I think that is okay. I think that it's okay to just leave something the way that it is. I don't want Lord of the Rings remake. I don't want a remake I didn't want a remake of Hellboy. There comes a time where something is done in a good way and people like it. Just leave it alone. Create something new. Don't just remake things over and over and over. It's so annoying. I don't want to watch remakes anymore. I am sick of seeing remakes. He added, and then we made a movie that I think is fun, and I think it had its problems. But it was a fun movie, and then people were just very, very against it, and that's people's right. But I learned my lesson in a lot of different ways. Harbour's Heckboys, which also starred Mila Jovovich as the Blood Queen, Ian McShane as the Professor, Sasha Lane as Alice, and all these other people, was more likely doomed to fail when it found itself embroiled in a casting controversy, including the Ben Daimio character. Kim, who was eventually cast as Ben, replaced Ed, who had initially been cast in the role. Now, it is clear that representing this character in a culturally accurate way holds significance for people, and that to neglect this responsibility will continue a worrying tendency to obscure ethnic minority stories and voices in the arts. I feel it is important to honor and respect that. Lionsgate, who produced the film, would release their own statement. It was not our intent to be insensitive to issues of authenticity and ethnicity, and we will look to recast the part with an actor more consistent with the character in the source material. Now, no other studio adapting comic book films has made such a statement. In fact, most of them are fully embracing changes characters' races, genders, and sexuality from their source material. Not only would the film face casting controversy, but the screenwriter would rail on President Donald Trump supporters leading up to the film's release. This is the problem, is when you have actors, directors, producers, whoever it may be, making references to politics and social media presences, and it's a problem. I don't want to hear, I want to go to a director's page and hear about their work. I don't want to hear about Trump and all these things, and I get that people should be able to talk about what they want, but then make a personal account and make a private account, a less public account. I think that this ruins it for a lot of people. And you know what? Now no one is going to buy or rent Hellboy because you've said that it's specifically Del Toro fans' fault because they didn't want you to remake the movie. I think that this is just a big problem. You can't insult fans. You can't say it's your fault this movie failed. You need to look at the bigger picture. The movie failed because people didn't want it remade. People were worried about what the remake was going to be. It turned out to be pretty bad. The story was bad. The graphics were bad, the acting was mediocre, and overall it was a 5 out of 10 movie. This is why it failed, not because fans were completely against it. Yes, I'm sure some fans did not go to see the movie because they wanted to respect Ron Perlman and Del Toro, and the iconic nature of Hellboy, but I just think overall that this is the attitude that will not get your movie and your content far. So that's all that I had to discuss in tonight's live stream, you guys. We discussed Hellboy, we discussed Death End Request 2 Censorship, we talked about Gotham High, and we discussed GameStop closing over 300 stores. I will go to the Q&A portion of this live stream, so if there's any comments or questions you guys have, please feel free to put them in chat now. I wonder if they'll still mouth about Trump long after he's gone from office. Maybe. Maybe. Who knows? This stream has made me concerned for the comic scene. Unfortunately, the comic scene has really gone downhill. The comic scene in general has just taken a nosedive. And it really doesn't help with the current situation of the coronavirus. So many stores being closed, so many of these companies being closed. It's obviously a big problem. But I do think that unfortunately, the comic scene is kind of going downhill now, which is unfortunate because so many of us love comics. We've loved comics for so long, and it's unfortunate to see something that started out so good turn out so bad. People still trash talk Bush a decade after him. People trash talk everyone. Let's be honest. I don't know. I don't talk, obviously I don't voice my opinions on politics and a lot of people in general on my channel. I'm sick of seeing people, oh, well, we need to put a political message in our entertainment because that's the right thing to do. I don't think that's the right thing to do. Bear, are there any ongoing comics that you would recommend? No. I do not read new and recent comics anymore. I stopped about 4 years ago. There will sometimes be a comic series I'll pick up, or I'll pick up a couple editions, but I don't actively read many of the newer series. I like to reread older, more appreciated series. There's no ongoing comics that I would recommend right now. That's not to say that all of them are awful and bad and trash. I kind of gave up I just kind of gave up on the industry, unfortunately. It's just, yeah. It's sad. It's sad. Just play video games, guys. Just play video games. Any thoughts on the PS5? I've talked about the PS5 a couple times. You can go back and look at other discussion streams. I've talked about it, but I think the specs are okay. I think a big thing will just be exclusive games. I think exclusive games are going to be the huge deciding factor on what everyone buys. I'm someone that buys new consoles, so I'll probably buy the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. I forgot the name, jeez Louise. It's okay, though. Specs are okay. It will be the 5th PS. Grizz. Oh, that's true. Vera, do you read manga? I don't read anything new that's currently coming out. I mean, I've read Death Note and Soul Eater, and I've read manga. I don't read anything that's currently coming out, though. Yeah, I don't think GTA 6 will be ready by the time PS5 comes out. Yeah, no, probably not. Probably not. Was reading this dragon harem manga recently. What? A dragon harem? Like cool dragons or like Sugoi girl dragons? Like which kind of dragons? Are the dragons sexy? Grizz is asking the important questions. If the Nintendo rumors are true, it'll really be tempting to sell off my Wii U and maybe get some other things. I think the Wii U is cool. I would get a Nintendo Switch for sure. Nintendo Switches are great and they're fantastic. I really like my Nintendo Switch. A harem of dragons to bone? Question mark. I learned the word Sugoi today. Why? Because I just said it? Yeah, Sugoi means like, wow, we're amazing. All of my other friends have Switches. I really like my Switch. I also really like Nintendo. I support Nintendo. I like most of their statements they've made recently. Obviously, not everyone buys or chooses not to buy consoles because of how a company acts. It does matter to me, though. It does matter to me. You might like Goblin Slayer and Berserk. They're both pretty dark manga, though I suggest the light novel for Goblin Slayer since that's the original story. I haven't read Goblin Slayer. I have it on a list, though, actually. I have it on a list, though. Because I've wanted to. I liked Rising of the Shield here. I have to say that. That was a series recently that I really liked. That it's had so much outrage. It had so much outrage surrounding it, but it was great. All of my Switch controllers are effed up. Well, maybe you should stop throwing them against the wall, Grizz. The first episode of Goblin Slayer is pure comedy gold. I like the premise of Goblin Slayer because I've read it. I've never watched it though. It is on the list. Hey, maybe I'll start watching or reading Goblin Slayer, and when I do a supporter only video, I can give a mini review with my first initial thoughts on it. It's a good idea. So what's the deal with Tiger King? Oh, don't get me started on Tiger King. They're all motherfuckers. Okay, you've got murderers. You've got people that want to be murderers. And in the end, I ranted about this the other night. Oh god, don't get me started. The cats just completely are forgotten about, and all they are fucking play toys. All these animals are chew toys to these disgusting, awful human beings. You have a woman that murdered her husband. Apparently. I believe she murdered her husband. That's my own opinion. I have no facts. You have these people that are threatening to shoot people if they walk on their property. You literally have the guy that inspired Scarface casually being the most normal person in the whole series. You've got someone running for the president and the governor. What's a Tiger King? It is a recent Netflix series. Please go and watch it. Please go and watch it. Because what the fuck? Literally, I can't even. How much can a white girl can't if a white girl just can't even? That is me with that series. Go and watch it. If you have ever listened to one thing that I've ever recommended to you, please go and watch it. Turn your Netflix on. Grab food. I was going to say grab a box of cookies. Don't do that. You will be disgusted with some of the imagery, and just go and watch it. A tiger upcut. Oh my goodness. Alright, you guys. I am going to end the live stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. I do very much so appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. One more time, I will let you guys know that on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be here streaming Resident Evil 3's Remake live. If you are not already supporting the channel, please consider becoming a Dark Titan. You can become a Dark Titan for just $1 a month. I just made the new Patreon account. I am reworking it, so some of the rewards are not there, but I will soon get the rewards going. I am going to start creating supporter-only content. You also get access to a special role in Discord, and you can become a supporter for just $1 a month. So thank you guys so much for stopping by tonight. I do very much so appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Follow me on Twitter if you are not already. I do update you guys there very frequently. And please make sure to join the Discord. We are very active there, and I talk to you guys about new games that are coming out that I'm playing, my streaming schedule, videos that I put up, and I notify you guys when I go live. Yes, and Frank did link it. I do have a Teespring, so if you want some sweet merchandise, if you want a Dark Titan t-shirt, a mug, whatever it may be, Titan's table as well, feel free to support me there. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this live stream. Please make sure to give it a like, and of course if you did not, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, and have a fantastic night, everybody.